Every day, dogs are abandoned, broken, and left to suffer. But thanks to you, they're not forgotten. This is why we do what we do. Aloe was hiding in the hills, terrified and hurt. It took a trap to rescue her, and an urgent 5-hour round trip by a volunteer to bring her to safety. She couldn't walk, her leg was broken, and she was in excruciating pain. But during emergency surgery, we discovered something else. She was pregnant. Despite the odds, Aloe made it through surgery and gave birth to 6 healthy puppies. Then there's Dixie. Thrown out into the back hills, left to survive alone, she was just a baby at only 13 weeks old. Someone found her and brought her to an inland shelter. When we met her, she was jumping up in her kennel, straining to see if her family had come back. People wanted to adopt her until they saw her eyes. Dixie had a painful, infected condition called cherry eye, and she was running out of time. But you didn't look away. Her $2,200 procedure saved her eye and gave her a second chance. Jimmy came to us emaciated, injured, and in pain. His hip was infected, he could barely walk, and he needed surgery, a $6,500 procedure, to live without pain. We said yes because you said yes. Today, Jimmy is thriving, sweet as ever, and so full of life. Mimi was thrown from a car. Locals tried for days to help her, until one of our volunteers gently earned her trust. At 8 years old, her ears were so infected they were swollen shut, oozing pus. She had been used for breeding and left behind, broken. One ear had to be removed immediately. The other still needed surgery. Her total care was around $6,900, and yet, she still melted into her foster's arms. Dogs like Mimi don't give up, so neither do we. Naomi, another senior soul, came to us from an overcrowded shelter. Overbred, abused, and missing an ear that was cut off by someone in her past. Despite it all, she remained full of love and grace. Allie was left in a night drop. No name, just a note. Hit by car, we can't help her. She had suffered for days with a broken leg. She rested her head in our volunteer's arm, trusting that this time, someone would care. Her surgery cost around $4,100. Bingo was struck by a truck and left alone in the cold rain, too hurt to move. Her care cost over $7,200, but we couldn't let her suffer. Today she's healthy, gentle, and waiting for her forever family. Candy was found on the streets, malnourished and scared, trying to care for her 10 newborn puppies. Once safe in a foster home, she gained strength, trust, and hope. Just as she was ready for adoption, Candy developed an eye condition. She lost vision in one eye and needed surgery to relieve her pain. Candy never let her challenges dim her spirit. She remained gentle, loving, and full of hope. Because of your generosity, Candy got her second chance, and she found her forever family. At just 4 months old, Speckles was tied to a doghouse and abandoned at a shelter. Her leg was gashed open, her hip and leg broken, signs of brutal abuse. She was hours from death, and though we were already overwhelmed with emergency cases, we couldn't walk away. She needed us, and we needed you. Thanks to our village of supporters, Speckles got the life-saving surgery she deserved. Clayton was blind from painful, untreated entropion. He stood quietly in a crowded shelter cage, eyes sealed shut, yet still leaning in, hoping for a gentle touch. He was also fighting pneumonia, parasites, and starvation. Surgery had to wait until we could stabilize him. But you didn't give up. You helped him fight. And today, Clayton can see. You gave him that kindness, you gave him sight, and now he sees the world with his forever family by his side. Makoa was out there alone, dragging a useless front leg, infected and swollen. But he still leaned in for hugs, still trusted. Volunteers rushed him to safety. His wounds were worse than we feared, but he never gave up hope, and neither did we. Today, Makoa is finally free to run, play, and love, and he's still waiting for a home. Matted, filthy, and abandoned, Toodles and her son Noodles were barely surviving. Even after grooming freed their bodies, pneumonia struck. Toodles ended up on oxygen, fighting for her life, separated from her baby. But she made it, and they're reunited. Now they wait for someone who'll never leave them behind again. Toodles and Noodles are still available for adoption and need to stay together. Your support gives them hope. 5 young labs escaped the LA fires, but their nightmare was not over. Passed around, neglected and starving, one puppy couldn't use her front leg. When we were called, we couldn't afford another rescue, but we couldn't say no. We stepped in and you stepped up. Today all 5 are safe, growing, and full of life. They're finally being the puppies they were meant to be, and now they're looking for their forever homes. Every dog that you just met is alive today because of you. But there are more waiting. We're fighting to save them all, and that is why Bark in the Barn matters. Because while they can't ask for help, we can answer. This is your chance to make a difference. Bid, donate, share, be part of something life-changing, and help us keep saying yes even when it's hard. Together, we save lives.